Welcome to my YouTube channel and to my train room. For this week's installment, I'm going to be starting on a brand new project. This project is a first for me. So let me get the camera turned around and I'll show you what I'm up to. Over the last couple of weeks I've had some packages arrive for me. I've got some scale lumber, I've got chimneys, sorted doors and windows, stair stringers, railings, asphalt shingles. I've got shiplap siding, I've got random stone sheet, and they're all looking rather small. This is N scale, and I've never worked in N scale before, so this is going to be a new experience for me. One thing I couldn't find online was a decent scale rule, so I ended up printing out this free one. I just hope it works. I started the process by mounting my scale rule on a sheet of 20,000 styrene just to give it a little bit more durability. I was lucky enough to be given full-size templates for the main walls, so I've attached those to a sheet of the siding. And this is all the siding I'm going to need. I had to buy a 10-pack because I didn't sell it in individual sheets. So anyway, I've checked the size of the openings against the windows just to make sure I don't cut them too big. And now all I've got to do is cut all the windows out. That's going to take a while, so I will check in with you when I've done that. Well, I've got all the door and window openings cut out, and I've test fitted all the openings so all the windows now fit. The next thing I've got to do is cut the side panels out. The templates that I've got are actual overall building size, so what I've got to do is cut them all back by the size of the corner post. Start with this one by itself. More important than dimensional accuracy is to make sure that the opposite walls are the same size. So I've put them together back to back and made any minor adjustments necessary. So now I should be able to assemble them into a nice square structure. Before I do that, however, the top half of the building is going to be covered in shingles. So I'm going to sand the texture smooth to give it more gluing area. Now also, before I try to join them, I've got to chamfer the back because the corner post is smaller than the thickness of the wood. So by chamfering the back, I'm giving myself some clearance. I'm not sure that's taken enough off. Let's get a file. Oh, that's better. Alright, this is 1/8" square basswood from my supply. I'm going to use that for corner bracing. First thing I'm going to do though is attach the visible corner posts to the two end walls. All I can sensibly do now is wait. Guess that's one of the disadvantages with working in wood instead of styrene, is the waiting time for the glue to set up. Okay, well, I've let these corner posts set up and I was all ready to continue with the next step of assembling the walls, and I've just realized that the wall patterns I was given are wrong. I'm wondering if I can just cut the corner posts off and add more wood to the bottom. I'm going to try that because I really don't want to throw away everything I've got and have to start again. If I'm told to work to plans, I expect the plans to be right. Well, I've let these lower extension pieces harden up. I've cleaned up the edges and I'm ready for a second attempt at the corner posts. Cutting these way long, it's a lot easier to cut extra off afterwards. Okay, something I'm going to do this time that I didn't last time is put a piece of 10,000 styrene underneath the face so that the corner post is a little bit proud. That will allow my shingles to butt into it. Hopefully these sides are still straight enough to glue the corner post to. Otherwise I'm going to be in a whole heap of trouble. Sounds like I have a herd of elephants charging around on the floor upstairs. Don't know if the camera's picking it up. Well, my glue is set up. Got a little bit of squeeze out here I've got to take care of, but otherwise it looks like they came out quite well. So far I think I'm reasonably happy with the recovery. I think the next thing to do is to cut the bottoms off the corner trim. Although I'm doing them as square pieces, they actually represent two pieces of flat trim that will be placed over the siding for weatherproofing. I've got to make sure I get the walls the right way round. These are the two walls that have the wraparound porch on them. So what I'm going to do is assemble them in my gluing jig. Not sure if you're going to be able to see very well. Hopefully that's better from that angle. Got my 10,000 styrene on the face of that. Now I need to glue a corner post in there. Now I'm deliberately leaving the corner post a little short at the bottom because I need to leave room for the foundation to fit inside it. Well, here's the basic box assembled. I'm now working on the foundation. I put a stiffener in. I've got two layers here. The top layer fits up inside the walls, a nice tight fit to stop them bowing in, and it will sit on this spacer piece. I might have to chamfer the top off because once the roof's glued on I won't be able to stick my fingers to shape it. And then I've got strips of JTT N scale random stone which I'm just going to put along the bottom, and then the base will eventually be permanently attached to the layout with the building removable. So let me get that glued on. Well, my battery just died, I just had to replace them. Not to worry, I have rechargeables now. So I've built up the stone foundation. A piece of 40 thou spacer and the 20 thou of the stone sheet is just about perfect on the thickness of the basswood. Most of what I'm doing is putting some mortar grooves in. It's so small I can't even see if the stones are somewhere close to lining up or not. If I was working in a larger scale, then I would try to make sure that the stones went around the corner. But for an N scale structure, I don't think that's realistic. Well, that's all for this week. Next week I'm going to be using another product that I have never used before. I have scale stick-on shingles. The upper half of the walls and the roof are going to be covered with those. And there'll also be a few other bits and pieces in next week's installment. So stay tuned. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you again next week. Bye for now.